Hello everybody, how are you today? Today I'm going to be doing something a bit more usual. I'm going to be speaking to you guys to make sure that I go back to the normal track of things I do, but I wanted to really try something different yesterday. It just felt inspiring, and also I think it sparks me to do what I'm going to talk about today. And I want to talk about how to become an unshakable leader and what that means for me. The thing is, the position of the leader is the one that other people follow. So that means that if they follow the leader, they want to make sure that they're following someone who knows where they're going, or at least that has a faith, such a strong certainty that even though they might not know every single step of the journey, they have faith that it's going to be better there. Otherwise, why would we move? And for the followers to trust the leader, they're going to challenge the leader. They're going to ask questions. They're going to question it. They're going to put some spikes to make sure that, are you really sure about what you're doing? And that's the moment when the leader is tested. But let's go away from theory and let's go back to practice. I want to go back because that's something very dear to me, to public speaking. You know, that's one of the biggest fears. Some studies have ranked it as the biggest fear in the world, bigger than dying, because we're afraid of judgment. And when we put ourselves out there on a stage or a virtual stage doing videos, we are afraid of this judgment. Because we're afraid that not only we are not going to be liked and all this, but we're afraid that people will see us crack. People will see us fail publicly or collapse or lose balance when a question arises or a comment arises and shows us like, oh, look, I have a weakness here. And now everybody sees it, so that makes me extremely vulnerable. And I want to describe the fact that vulnerable means originally the capacity to be wounded. That's where it comes from. It's being vulnerable. It means that you're putting yourself in a position when you can be wounded. And if you're a leader, that's where you want to live, on this edge. Because otherwise you're just living a safe life. You're going always in the areas that are safe. So how do you become unshakable? Well, you practice it. When you go on sales call, I don't know if you have been on a sales call, either the buyer or the seller, it's a test of trust, especially when we're doing something of intimate work where we're going to question our identity, question who we are, our values. We want to make sure the person in front of us is knowing what they're doing, because it's like you go to the doctor, to the surgeon, you want to make sure the surgeon know what they're doing before they put their knives in you. So you're going to challenge the surgeon, and if the surgeon looks like they're like, okay, I think we're going to remove the lever, or is that the right leg we're removing? I don't know, we'll figure this out. Are you going to go into the surgery room? No way, the freaking way, we're not entering that room. We want to make sure that if I enter the surgery room, the surgeon knows exactly what they're doing and how much time, how it's going to go. You're trusting the person with what's dearest to you. So if you're in the position yourself of leadership, you gotta expect that people are gonna challenge you. And actually, it's not that you're gonna expect it, you're gonna want this. You're gonna want to have people challenge you. That's the only moment where you'll know if your idea is good. Because I feel like I work with many clients, and I find myself guilty of that, of doing what I call the cave work. The cave work is this moment where we're just working on our project like this, and working on a website, I'm working on my business card, I'm working on my course, I'm working on my book, but it's here, and I don't put it in front of the world because I don't want this draft to be judged. I don't want it to be challenged, and I'm afraid that if I present it too early, people will say something, will tell something that will make me feel that it's not good enough. And therefore, I will fall. And when I say unshakable, it's like emotionally feel like, and I love using the metaphors of martial arts. It's really this game of, are you going to be able to make me fall? Like, you can challenge me, you can ask me question. I'm gonna move and dance with it, because again, when I'm saying unshakable, it doesn't mean I'm not going to listen. I'm open. Challenge me, actually show me my weak points so that I can improve, and maybe either it's not a weak point and you think it is, and I'm like, oh, no, not affected, or like, ooh, that actually hurts. Maybe I need to work on that part. Or say, actually, you know what, I'll just get rid of this part and focus on where I'm strong. The reason I wanted to share this with you, like to be, again, in the pragmatic, and like, I just had a call with a client a couple of days ago, and we've been working for a while, and it just felt like he just wanted to challenge me. He just wanted to, like, he just asked questions, and we've been getting amazing results with that client very quickly. And we just said, now it's time for you to fly on your own. That was this moment, and now it's like the question of working together again. But I feel like he's challenging me to say, hey, are you still growing? Are you still the one I need to be my coach? And maybe that person, in that case, it was not the case, but maybe that person might ask you things where I feel, oh, that's a weak point. Like, maybe you're asking me about, I don't know, my revenue, or like, what am I doing with Facebook ads, with these things? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. You made me feel like I'm not competent. And when the real thing is, my client doesn't really want to know if I have Facebook ads. My client might just want to know if I'm strong and I'm still in a position of telling him, I've got this. Trust me. I've got this. I know I can help you. So it's this question. And if you've been in a relationship, especially if you're the man energy, the yang energy of the couple, the yin, the feminine energy, is going to challenge you, because the feminine energy wants to know, like, are you sure you know what you're doing with like the things you're doing? So we are working as a duo, where the person, when you're in the leadership position, because it changes, sometimes you're the follower, but when you're in the leadership position, when you want the world to challenge you, that's the only way to see if you're actually solid in your ideas, in your energy, in your thought, in your project, in what is it that you want to bring about in the world. I just feel like I want to be even more concrete. If you're leading a team or a community, there are going to be tough moments. There are going to be moments when, like, COVID happens, and all of a sudden your community, your team, your peers are going to look around to see who's still got their shit together. It doesn't matter what you do. We're going to look for the person who's not freaking out, not from a place of ignoring the problem, but from a place like, oh, I see there's a storm, but we're good. We're going to survive this. We're going to be solid. We're going to go through this. Now, no matter what you do at that point, if you're like solid, we're going to listen to you, because you're the only one who's not freaking out. And we all know that the person who has the most confidence is the person who wins. Like sports, like tennis match, you see two people and you see one that is like entering the field, like, I know I'm gonna win. The person, and the other one is like, ooh, I don't know. Like, you already know from minute one as they enter the field which one is gonna win. Because it's all about stepping up and showing up with this confidence, this energy, this certainty. It's a game of certainty. Who has the greatest certainty? So I want to maybe go back to the idea of practice. How do you actually practice that? Because now I'm mostly talking about why you should become unshakable, but I really want to emphasize on the fact that it's something you practice. And the way you practice is by opening up. When you open up and you say, this is what I truly believe in, and you let people give you feedback, even if that hurts, if it's a critic, even if you're working on a book and say, that's my idea, I see that, I really think it's a great idea, and you open yourself up to be challenged, and you play this game, these martial art where you, like with conversation, with these spikes that you might receive from people, especially from dear, close loved ones, you become stronger because you know where your weak points are, and now you can work on like, hey, I can avoid this, not avoid it like dismiss and not, but just say, I no, this doesn't affect me because it's your projection, it's your fears you're trying to project onto me, or it's actually, that was a good point, I'm going to strengthen my muscle in this thing. So my point here, and I'm going to finish with this, is the world wants to see you, how you're doing when shit comes. We're happy to see you when everything is working well, that's inspiring, but what we really want to see, what we're actually like nervous about, is when it's the stressful moment. Again, maybe think of sport, like it's, I don't know, last minute of a game and you're 1 point back from your opponent and you're like, wow, that's what we want to see. How do you show up? How do you keep up with your confidence? That's inspiring. That's someone we want to follow. That's someone we're like, you've got this. You know, if that doesn't make you fall, nothing will. And maybe just like to be again more personal, yesterday when I did this silent video, that was extremely vulnerable for me. And I was like, are people going to comment? How are they going to react? And that was for me practicing being unshakable, because I was like all the way through the video feeling like people might react a very different way. And I want to be like, doesn't matter what they're doing because I'm just doing a silent video. So who cares? Like whatever they believe, whatever they project onto what I'm doing, much of it hasn't anything to do with me. I'm just, so it starts being about me. I'm not caring. I can still listen. I emphasize, I can still listen to feedback to maybe do it better, to do it differently next time. But I'm not going to let myself affected and collapse because someone says something on. And again, if you're growing as a leader, you're going to have criticism. Actually, that's one guaranteed thing. Like people will challenge you. That's how you know you're going to grow as a leader. And the more you'll be like, you know what, not affected, unshakable. I listen. Thank you so much for your feedback, but your fears, your frustrations, your pain is not mine. I'm going to take the feedback if I think it's valuable, but other than that, this is yours. So that's what I wanted to share today. If you're a leader, if you're a visionary leader and have teams, or you have a community and you want to make sure that you become even more solid in who you are and what your vision you have for this world and to be not shaken, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. Just type unshakable in the chat, in the comments. I'll be more than happy to jump on a call with you. And if not, it doesn't matter. It's just like, if that shakes you, what I'm just said, because I made an offer, like, check yourself. Why did you shake? So it's about this practice. It's not something we instantly have forever. We can instantly get it, but we have to constantly practice. So thank you very much for watching. This was me for today. That was my inspiration of the day, how to become an unshakable leader. I wish to see you very soon as an unshakable leader. And in the meantime, keep shining, keep inspiring, keep impacting, and don't forget to have fun. See you very soon. Bye-bye.